Welcome again to S2S TV, where we do integrative therapeutic talks, and today we're talking about a concept called differentiation of self. In simple terms, this concept defines an individual's capacity not to lose themselves, not to lose a deep connection to themselves while holding connections with other people in social relationships. The differentiation level can be measured in two ways. There are people who have a high level of differentiation, and there are people who are undifferentiated or have a very low level of differentiation. People with a high level of differentiation enjoy greater autonomy. They are happy with their decisions and other people's decisions. They are capable of understanding conflicts and acting wisely in the face of conflict. Also, people with high differentiation of self have a capacity to differentiate between their thoughts and emotions and take a stand in their opinions. They're also not afraid to express themselves, and that makes it easier to socialize with other people. On the other hand, people with low differentiation of self have dependency issues. They have low emotional reactivity to those around them. Other times they also have low autonomy. They experience low autonomy, and it is easy for them to conflict with other people. Various factors predispose individuals to be differentiated and at the same time to have low differentiation levels, and these factors include family of origin, where people are highly differentiated. Definitely, if someone grows up in that kind of setting, they will have a high differentiation level. Healthy parent relationships, where parents encourage their children to share their opinions and become their own self, creates a positive environment for them to have a high differentiation level. Positive affirmations in early periods of life, where parents get to encourage their children to practice what they love. They give back good feedback on their behavior and things like that. Reflection on an individual's experience, whether good or bad, can create room for them to evaluate their differentiation levels and change, as well as any interaction with opportunities that provide growth to a person. On the other side, other factors that can be considered to cause low differentiation of self would be lack of awareness on the differentiation as a concept, as well as traumatic experiences, negative early experiences at home where a person grows up, or with their social interactions. Those factors can cause a person to have low differentiation of self. So why is differentiation of self important? In any level of social engagement, and also in systems like family, marriage, and other social relations and groups, it is critical for someone to maintain some level of individuality, to avoid being submerged in the system and to conform to other individuals, to please other people, and stop being the person you are. And some of the symptoms that come from us being submerged in systems, whether groups, marriage, or family, can cause a person to have symptoms that define people who have been subjected to differentiation of self, or who have been submerged into systems. Includes inability to express oneself, which is usually accompanied by alcoholism, and also negative emotions, which in other terms can be defined as low levels of differentiation of self. So when these symptoms continue to present in an individual, what follows is that the individual is going to have social conflicts in those systems that they are already in, and the difficulties can be one of the things that cause mental disorders to the individuals experiencing them. So here are some healthy steps to achieving differentiation of self in relationships, and one of them is to create personal boundaries, psychological, physical, and spiritual boundaries, which will create a safe environment for an individual to nurture their personal belief, nurture themselves to be the kind of person they have chosen to be, and this will keep away enmeshment in relationships, which creates opportunities for people to be submerged in the systems, and that makes them not to grow. So the more a person detaches while still in the relationships, it creates opportunities for growth. The second thing is a person can remain solid in personal goals, those individual goals that involve personal beliefs, values, career, friends, and that boosts focus on the self, so that the individual has personal issues that they can focus on and things that they can work on, instead of getting involved with everyone else's business. The third step is to identify personal problem solving ways, so that one can establish patterns of solving problems that are independent. It's not bad to rely on family and friends during difficult times, but it can also be difficult to the family. Each time you have a problem, you run to them. So you need to define the self in terms of forming automatic boundaries and automatic ways to solve your problems, so that you become self-reliant and you can only rely on others when it is necessary to do so, but not every other time. You need to value personal happiness, where you achieve the ability to regard your own happiness and to distinguish your emotions and thoughts from your feelings and from what others may seem to identify as good for them. So that means that what makes other people happy may not necessarily make you happy. So when you identify your own happiness, it will be a good thing, because you will allow others to follow their dreams, identify their own happiness, as long as it's an healthy path they have taken. You know, it's always good to check out on others and to help people evaluate or re-evaluate their decisions, but if their decisions are good, then you need to let go and let people enjoy their own life. You need to respect other people's aspirations and goals and dreams, you know, not to be the entrance, the interferer who takes away their joy or the goals they really want to pursue. When you are highly differentiated, you learn to allow people to also be highly differentiated by following their goals and their desires and their dreams. You need to practice self-acceptance and approval, where you regard yourself based on your self-esteem and your ability to make decisions. And this will mean that you allow yourself to pursue what you think, instead of being independent and always having people validate your thoughts, validate your goals, your dreams, and so forth. And that practice will boost your autonomy. You are your own person, making your own decision, creating your own dreams, and following them. You need also to forgive mistakes of the past, that is, to be kind and practice self-empathy, so that you can heal and move on with your life. And then lastly, you need to constantly review the low scores on your personality traits, because differentiation of self also is related to our personality traits. And if you seem to be scoring lower on your personality, it means that the lower scores you have, the weaker your traits become. And to make them stronger, then you need to check on the low score and the high score. If for instance you are extroverted, and maybe the low score is you are being too social and on other people's space. If you evaluate that, it means that if you upgrade on the low scores, you're going to focus on your own stuff and you're going to achieve your own happiness, as well as focus on your own dreams. Then we can look at a reflection from the scriptures on the differentiation of self. Jesus exercised the highest level of differentiation, and the main reason why he did this was to fulfill his purpose, which was to make his Father known and the kingdom of God known as well. And if you read from the book of Matthew chapter 12 verse 46 to 50, in that passage someone was telling Jesus that your family is here, and Jesus' response is very clear in differentiation of self. He said, who is my family? My family is the one that is seated here with me. So if Jesus allowed himself to be enmeshed and fused in the family system and the dynamics of identifying with your family, he would not have focused on his purpose and achieved what God the Father wanted him to. Okay, and also in the book of Matthew chapter 14 verse 24 to 26, Jesus emphasized self-denial for those who are willing to follow him, in the sense that if you cannot deny your own happiness, if you cannot deny your family, if you cannot deny other issues that seem to derail you from following Jesus, he said that you cannot follow him consistently. You will not. And also in the book of James chapter 1 and 6, for today believers, the concern here is to allow God to help us to mature in our faith through suffering, so that we become strong and strongly founded in our beliefs, such that we are able to express our belief and we do not doubt God. Something else about the differentiation of self with Jesus is that he focused so much on prayer and talking to his Father in heaven, so that he would commune with him. And it was not just about show off for Jesus, it was about him knowing what God wanted him to do. So differentiation of self is really important in our lives today, because if we all belong to systems, we all belong to social groups, and if you're not careful, you can lose your individuality, you can lose yourself into the systems, and the time you realize that this is not really me, it will be too late. If this was helpful, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you soon.